Baddies, thanks for tuning into the show. This episode is brought to you by Wild Heart Stones. If you need some fossils, gems, and sage, we have a website for you.
That's right. My friend Kyle, she's promised to bring us the best self-collected, self-selected, and treasured gems to you, all at very reasonable prices on her website, wildheartstones.com. Kyle and her father have been digging up these rocks all her life. Her dad was a geology professor back in the day, and they used to go to rock shows. They pretty much know everything that rock.
Nice. You guys could save 15% on all of your purchases. Just use promo code ICBTB at checkout. And a link to the website will be down in the description, or you can find it on our website at ICBTB.com.
Thank you guys so much. Wildheartstones.com.
Yeah, check them out.
Thank you, Kyle.
Enjoy the show.
It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad.
I forgot how much I loved Zach Galifianakis.
They're both doing their prime, thing.
Yeah.
But it's not overdone. It's not too hacky for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not. And Robert Downey Jr., right from the first scene, his acting was impeccable. So good. Just the small choices in that monologue.
Did you see how he delivered the line? Do I look like somebody who does drugs?
Yeah, crazy.
Best acting he's ever done in his life.
I've never done drugs in my life.
Best acting I've ever seen Robert Downey Jr. do. Yeah.
Never done drugs in my life. Is that pot? You know what it is. You know what it is.
Isn't that RZA?
That's when?
The TSA agent. Who
Yeah,
finds
I'm pretty sure that's
RZA.
RZA,
that is
right?
RZA.
That's RZA,
That
isn't
is
it?
RZA.
Yeah. Did you guys see Keegan-Michael Key?
No. But I saw Brody Stevens.
Brody Stevens was and Brody passed away.
Rest in peace, Brody.
Yes. Brody, who did he play?
He was in the very beginning, he's driving Robert Downey Jr. to the airport. And he drives
he's the
a town
driver
car that gets the door ripped off.
Yeah, that's right. He was the
Keegan
driver.
was the dude at the end, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was him. I was like, wait.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes! No, I don't actually. I just wanted to be part of it.
Daryl? It's so... I forgot how funny this movie was.
Oh, I was laughing out loud. I was laughing out loud watching this because there are definitely points in this movie where I'm like, dude, it's just so stupid.
Well, it's a Todd Phillips movie, so the directing's actually really good. Like, there's some really good cinematography in this movie, and the writing is, yes, formulaic, but
Todd didn't write it though. This was a script that had been written a long time ago and was sat on a shelf for a
the way
minute.
he delivered it,
Great, always delivers.
casting choice, really good. Every single line was effective. I was never really bored throughout the movie at all. Mm-hmm. But
No, and we'll get there. But perfect runtime. I think it's great.
Yes.
We watched a movie called
Due Date.
I wanted to let you say it once on your own because in the last episode I said it without you and I felt bad.
Yes. You said it real fast.
Due date.
Due Date. What?
Due date.
Should we welcome the baddies?
How about we welcome das Baddies?
Yeah, in regular English, I think.
Welcome das Baddies.
Just welcome. That's fine. Welcome to another episode of ICBTB podcast,
I don't know that in German.
also known as.
It can't be that bad.
Yep. Baddies, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't, go back and watch the Tuesday episode. Highly irrelevant. It was super irrelevant, we'll tell you that. And you get to hear us do impressions. But we're not here to talk about that, and we're not here to do impressions. We're here to talk about a movie, right?
Didn't know we were keeping the impressions parts in. Guys, we watched Due Date. It's on Netflix for a short amount of time. So literally go and watch it right now.
Yes, it is it is not going to be on the Netflix library after September 30th.
We like to put a little bit of pep in your step, baddies. Get a little urgency under you. Light a little bit of a fire. You know what I mean? If we're doing this shit, you're doing it too, baby.
Watch the movie. There's no reason you're not going to watch the movie. You got time
I'm not
on
wearing
your
a hat.
hands. Yeah. You want to wear a hat?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you. I
right.
do need a haircut. This is disgusting.
Well, let's get into it.
We watched a movie called Due Date. It was released in the year 2010 and was rated R. Thank you. It has a runtime of 1 hour, 35 minutes, or 95 minutes for those of us who like numbers. It has a rating of 6.5 out of 10 on the International Movie Database. It has a 39% on the Rotten Tomatoes and a 51% on the Meet a Critic. Mm-hmm. Christian and friends, What do you guys think this film was rated by Google users? That's Google users from France. Alan, you'll go first.
I know the answer.
Okay, Alan doesn't get to play. Melissa, your guess.
91.
She says 91.
I'm gonna say ditto. That was what I was
Christian
gonna say.
also says 91. Alan will do it at the same time. 84.
84%.
Is it really that low? That's
Yes.
interesting.
I think it doesn't get enough views.
Recognition.
Yeah.
It was 85 last night.
Oh, so
Something
people
happened,
are
man.
actively going against it.
Yeah.
Well, let me counter it out and give it a thumbs up right fucking now.
Nice.
Synapses coming at you.
Right at you.
Peter Hyman will be a dad. That's a hilarious name, bro. I
know.
did not realize that was his last name.
Yep.
Peter Hyman will be a dad for the first time when his wife gives birth in 5 days. He intends to catch a flight home from Atlanta so he can be there for the delivery, but a chance encounter with aspiring actor Ethan Tremblay throws a monkey wrench into his plans. Desperate to reach his wife before their baby is born, Peter's sanity is tested when he must take a road trip cross-country with the dog-toting Ethan.
Cool.
Was that cool? I'm working on the synapses things for you.
Yeah, it's really good. I'll
Is
put.
the hand stuff better?
No, I think I'd go without the hand stuff. You don't have
Damn
to
it.
do that. Just it would be really awesome. Just read the synopsis, man. It would be really cool if we
That's
could
what I'm
just
doing.
get,
And then
get
I do,
through the
and then I
synopsis.
do the hand thing.
And then no, not the hand. It'd be really cool if we could just get to the movie.
It had a budget of somewhere between $54 and $65 million, depending on who you ask. Mm-hmm. Let's say 65.
Sure.
Everything costs more in America.
Yeah.
How much do you think this movie made in its box office weekend?
Well, let's see. What year did this come out again?
2010.
2010.
So we just finished the recession. Everybody's feeling pretty high on the hog from Obama.
And Robert Downey Jr. is
He's finally
in the
got. Yeah, he's
back.
Both of them.
He's back. Zach Galifianakis after The Hangover had just come out.
I think Hangover 2 had just come out.
Probably. So I think they were really popular actors at the time, and so I think people were rushing to the theaters to see this, especially like it's a Todd Phillips who had also done The Hangover, and so
I think at this point, Zach Galifianakis' character traits weren't outdone yet. Right, he kind of played that through and through.
Yes.
His Between the Two Ferns is a different character, but that's funny in its own.
and it's
then-
almost similar.
And Baskets is a way different character. That's really funny.
He's such a good character actor.
Did you ever see a stand up?
It's similar because like he sings, he
He like
actually
plays the
does stuff.
piano and like he'll do stuff. He was like I remember because he'd like play the piano and like move his hair aside and be like, okay, here's another song. Okay, I'll just play it. Like,
that was his thing.
It was his original stand up character was really funny.
He's just
He's
good
very
at
funny.
characters.
Yeah, he's very clever.
So with that being said, I think he made this made like 120 million. I think it doubled.
Okay. In the U.S. alone, it made $100.4 million. Total,
Nice.
it made $211.8 million.
So it was a success.
It definitely is. And like we said, I mean, Todd Phillips, Robert Downey Jr., I do not think we can belabor this point anymore. Zach Galifianakis, prime time to put these three together.
Yeah.
It's a contractual film. Todd Phillips had signed a deal to make the movies with Hangover. They asked him to make a couple of more. This was a film that was on the blacklist of 2009, which is the list of famous scripts that are never made, but great films. And thinking about that as I watch this film, these could have been played by almost anybody, but these two do it the best.
Yes.
Like they are adding their kind of pizzazz to it that really makes it perfect for them.
Because I was thinking like Bradley Cooper could have played the role of Peter.
Oh,
but, like,
yeah, that would have been good.
And especially since Zach Galifianakis and Bradley Cooper already have that kind of dynamic in The Hangover.
Let's switch it a little bit, though. Let's say Bradley Cooper is Peter. Let's pick a different Ethan.
I don't know. He's such a specific character and actor that I can't see Ethan as anyone else.
Maybe the guy who plays Dwight Schrute, because he gets really into Rainn
can see
Wilson.
that. Yeah.
Every character,
Oh,
he's like
yeah,
really
yeah.
into his characters. That's why like people love Dwight.
Yeah.
But like if he was able to get into an Ethan Tremblay character,
Yeah.
I think that would be really, really funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows? But they would have been different movies, but maybe it could have been really good.
Hey, in some universe, it's happening. Let's just jump right into it, guys. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing we can do but jump off the diving board, is what I like to say.
Yeah.
There's only two ways in the pool, and the stairs are illegal. That's
Hey.
what I always tell kids.
Yeah. Let's go deep.
Said the nurse to the man during a COVID test. So Peter's child is being born, and he loves his Bluetooth. I love how in 2010 Bluetooth headsets were just stopping to
Yes.
look super douchey and just starting to look kind of cool.
Kind of cool. And dude,
But still douchey.
I just want to say, right from the get, Robert Downey Jr. is such an attractive man. His lashes are really long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really long. And so like you see him,
Oh, I didn't notice that.
like right on in. I don't know, great shot. Like the opening shot
you're
really
right.
good.
That's the time to notice his eyelashes in that opening shot.
With
for sure.
the and with the monologue about him talking about his dream, right? Where he's saying like I woke up and like it was a hospital, but it was also a forest and like
The baby's chewing on a wire.
yeah, and like there's bear and then like he chews off the cord.
Yep.
And for some reason I was fine with it. Yeah, that's a good sign, right? And that gets brought back at the end. So that's cool.
There's a lot of things that happen in this film that are. This is a very exposition heavy film for not being like a comic book movie that has to explain background and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's where the humor is. Excuse me. That's where the humor is it's in the wit and the quick and the comebacks that they have.
Yeah.
Like constantly Robert Downey Jr. he's doing the classic like script thing where he's 2 steps ahead of everybody in what he's saying. But because he says the best shit.
Yeah.
Like he's really one of the funniest people ever to live.
He's good.
Robert Downey Jr. was on Saturday Night Live for 1 season.
You're kidding me.
No, swear to
When?
God.
What
Yep.
year?
I believe it was season 4, and everybody that year got fired. They were only there for 1 season.
Are there actual like clips of him
Oh, yeah.
in sketches?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
He might have been in the original cast. Now that I'm talking about
Who
it.
knows, man? But like, look where he is now. I'm so glad that he made his comeback.
Hey, you know what? Some birds got to fall so they can fly.
Yeah. And so like this movie like really starts picking up when he starts going to the airport. When he
It's all about their planes, trains, and automobiles like fiasco. Pretty much is what they're going through here. So they get. I'd love in the moment at the airport when he makes eye contact with Ethan Tremblay, and it's just like. It's already starting. Like he already hates Robert Downey Jr. hates Zach Galifianakis from millisecond 1.
Well, look at how they met. Like,
But that's not Zach Galifianakis' fault. That's the driver's fault.
yeah, but like he already had. Yeah, no, but like the door just came right off, right? And Robert Downey Jr. just could have died. And so, like, if I was in his shoes in that car, I would be heated, and anyone that I made eye contact with, I would be pissed off at.
I'd be pissed off at the driver for sure.
And apparently, the driver that like knocked their door off smelled like alcohol.
Yeah,
right?
because him and Zach Galifianakis
were drinking.
They
You guys-
split a 6-pack on the way in.
Yeah, no, I haven't been drinking. I just split a 6-pack.
I like how he was like, "You guys been drinking and driving?" He's like, "Well, I wasn't driving."
Yeah,
It's those little like
small little things.
so funny.
Such good writing and great delivery by Zach Galifianakis.
They go through because of that interaction. They accidentally switch bags, which is like the best airplane trope that you could possibly do.
Perfect.
Because
Yes.
as soon as Robert Downey Jr. is going through security, they're pulling out like a Mad magazine and like a marijuana pipe and stuff, and he's just like, That's not mine."
I've never done drugs ever in my life. Okay, Robert. And it was, what else was in there?
He was like ruffling around the clothes, and Robert Downey Jr. was like, "Would you mind not doing that?" And like he pulls out like some weird underwear,
And he starts
then RZA sniffs him. He's like, "You a funky motherfucker."
You funky motherfucker. You're just like, whoa, man. You're like out of pocket. And Riz is like, I've been called many things in my life, but I've never been called that. Like just really getting sensitive on Robert Downey Jr., which is like this funny interaction.
And on the one time that TSA actually did their job, they confiscated that bag, and so he didn't get to take it with him, which is fine. It's not his bag, anyways.
There was like, there was like some weed in there, right?
Yeah, a pipe and like
Yeah, the paraphernalia.
And so he finally gets a seat on the plane, first class.
No, economy.
No, because Zach Galifianakis was originally in economy, and the seatbelt was broken. So he got an upgrade to first class. That's why he was like,
Is that what first class looks like?
It
It didn't look that
I guess it
great.
depends on the airline.
I was gonna say I've never made it.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been on
never
first
made
class.
it either.
We could ask Otis. Otis did it once.
I hear the best time to do first class though.
What?
Is on your flight home. Which I think that's
I can see that.
because
Yeah.
getting there, you're excited, you're happy. It doesn't, you're ready to get going. But then the flight back, you're tired. You don't want to go home. The vacation's over. You might as well be comfortable. That's what I say.
I mean, I could see it the other way around, but regardless, like this interaction that they had on first class, terrible, dude. Like,
They talk about like bombs and like
Well, yeah.
terrorism. and shit.
That's after Zach Galifianakis smashes his face up against Robert Downey Jr.
what a
With his
great
stomach, dude.
scene!
It's like, are you not aware that there's like his utter contempt for Zach Galifianakis's entire aura is just so good. Like, that's Robert Downey Jr. doing Academy Award-winning acting in like a jokey comedy film.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good.
Zach Galifianakis trying to put his luggage away up top with a button up that is not buttoned up all the way from the bottom. So his hairy ass belly is up in Robert Downey Jr.'s face. Not only does he have his belly in his face, he puts his foot up on the armrest of Robert Downey Jr.'s chair.
And then,
And then
in case we didn't see his belly enough, he uses his shirt to clean his glasses.
yes.
Which just then reveals his big old hairy. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like
That's
comedy. Good
it reminds
comedy,
me of that one scene in Along Came Polly
Yes.
when Ben Stiller's playing basketball with like these old ass hairy guys. That man, so funny.
So they're discussing how they accidentally switched bags, and Robert
Yeah.
Downey Jr. says your bag got confiscated, but it's not Zach Galifianakis' fault. He's got glaucoma.
Yeah, I have glaucoma. That is my medication. Like what?
Oh, it's I have a prescription for that.
How is it that they started talking about like bombs? What was Zach Galifianakis talking about?
Because they told everybody to turn off their electronic devices, and he's sending a last text message to his wife.
To Sarah.
Yeah, to say bye. I'm about to go flying. It was I was on a BlackBerry. That's how you can see this
Very
movie's a
2000.
little dated,
Dude,
man.
Yeah, man.
And then Zach Galifianakis like, you need to turn off your phone right now because they get kind of weird about that stuff. Again, nobody was saying anything. I don't know why Zach
it's
Galifianakis
just
made
Zach
it his thing.
Galifianakis just saying like, it's just in case like, I don't know, are you a terrorist or you could be calling it a bomb?
Well, yeah, and because
Yeah.
they use those things to start
Hella
bombs.
loud,
And he's like,
too.
don't say
Stop,
those
stop.
words. You're not supposed to say it.
And then you see the flight attendants like freaking the fuck
Yep,
out.
security comes through.
Yeah, the air
Sure, we
marshal
come to
comes
the
out.
front of the airplane. It's like,
Oh my gosh! And he was put on the no-fly list. You and your buddy.
so yes, because everybody keeps going. You and your friend need to come to the front. Or like,
Not my friend.
yeah, and then he's getting interrogated by like security, and they're just like, "Well, you and your friend, they're not going to get on the flight." And they're like, "Who? Well, I didn't come here with anybody.
Never met that guy in my
I
life.
love the fact that like, but you mean you met him at the parking lot though, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, but I don't know who he is."
So funny. Put in that situation, and now he's put on the no-fly list. This movie gets worse and worse and worse and worse in terms of situation.
Yes.
And not only that, he left his wallet on the plane.
Oh.
So now he can't even rent a car because he has no ID to prove who he
Dude,
is.
he doesn't have
Which is
anything.
how Ethan just picks him up and he's like, all right, I'll drive you to L.A.
Well, yeah, Ethan pulls up and he's like, "Hey, you dropped something."
Yeah.
And it's the stuffed monkey that he got for his kid. And he's like, you didn't grab my bag? And he's like, I saw your bag. I couldn't grab it. My hands were full with the monkey. He's
Yeah.
like, what about my wallet? He goes, I saw your wallet. Again, they were really going really fast. I didn't have time to grab that. And it was like that or the monkey. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to get the monkey.
So, and then, and I would be so upset. So that's how you know, like, I say this a lot. If you could get me riled up, just from seeing you act, like you're doing some good acting, my friend.
I would love to see us do a version of this film,
Yes.
except you're Robert Downey Jr.
That's yeah. And when I'm dealing with you, yes, that's the only way it could go.
It could go the other way. I think I could play a good asshole.
I guess we could switch off and
It'd
I
be
could
fun
be
to see you be really silly like that.
Yeah.
I saw it, but I didn't have time to grab it.
I just couldn't get it. Come on, get in the car. Guy has like
He takes off and then like reverses. He's like, nah, I'm just kidding. Get on
I'm
in.
just messing with you. And he only has like $60 of cash in his pocket.
No, he has $200. He has,
Oh
he
my
has he has a
gosh.
good amount of money, but he has to pick up his medicine before they leave.
Yeah.
After their discussion in the Waffle House about how they have to get to LA immediately,
Dude.
And then as soon as they leave, he's like, I gotta go buy some weed.
Wait, when they're at that Waffle House, Zach Galifianakis is like, I'm allergic to waffles. You're allergic to batter?
No, he's also feeding the eggs to his dog from the same fork he's eating with.
So dumb.
And Robert
He
Downey
calls his
Jr.
dog
is
dumb.
just he's so dumb, isn't
So
he?
dumb. This dog is so
He
dumb.
doesn't even know how stupid he is.
Yo, that French bulldog is so cute though, Sonny.
Yeah.
So cute.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. And we'll get to it, but that dog could jack itself off? Really? That
Well,
is a
most
crazy
dogs
trick.
can,
Like
actually.
that with its paw?
I knew a
Wild.
man who got a turtle to do it once. Not got a turtle, but saw a turtle do it.
Do it. Come on, do it.
We've been practicing for
Come
this.
on.
Come on, Shelly.
But they go to. So who's that actress that sells them weed?
Julia.
Because she's great. She's from like Cape Fear. She's from Dusk Till Dawn. She was like in a bunch
Juliette
of.
Lewis.
Love her.
Yeah, Juliette Lewis.
You know, she's like a lead singer of some like really heavy metal band still.
Really?
Yeah, and she like goes on
She
tour.
does sing a lot, actually. I think in a lot of roles that she plays, she sings a little bit. You
Yeah.
recognized her boyfriend,
Her boyfriend. What? No, who is
the one who
that?
came downstairs with the curly hair.
No, who is that?
That's Todd Phillips.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Whoa.
And he's wearing the same wig he wears in The Hangover when they walk into the
Yeah.
elevator.
Whoa, that is him, huh?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Very Alfred Hitchcock of him to give
Love
himself that
it.
cameo. Yeah. I like when he's doing the Marlon Brando speech and like, wow, Did you write that? He's like, no, the mafia did.
You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding and ask me to kill someone?
It's not justice.
Dude, and they're like all high, and
Yeah.
Juliette Lewis is like about to cry.
He does this. He does
Oh my
this.
God.
And then he ends it with, I've been practicing my hand movements for that scene.
I think that's it.
Dude, and in the meantime, Robert Downey Jr.
Peter punches a kid, dude.
Dude, he's messing with the fucking kids.
Okay, he punched that kid in the nuts.
That kid deserved it.
Sure, but I'm pretty
Don't
sure
hit
he
kids,
punched
but
that kid
also-
in the nuts.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know.
what else would make somebody crumple like a gut punch could, but a gut punch to cripple a kid like that would be super intense.
Wait, how did he do it? I don't think he actually like threw his fist. I think he had his fist out and brought the kid's body to his fist.
Oh, yeah.
I think he
Drove the kid into his fist.
that kid was an asshole, just throwing shit at his face, pulling on his tie, saying, "What's this?"
Well, okay,
That
yes,
snake
the tie,
toy, too.
The
Like-
tie, yeah, and it's not me, it's Velma or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
the snake's
yeah.
I
name
think
is.
it is Velma. was the name of the snake.
Yeah, the only thing he's justified in is throwing the dinosaur at because he's talking to his sister and he's like, well, Alex is also a boy's name. Your parents kind of screwed you on that, huh? And then that's when he throws a dinosaur.
Yeah, Robert.
At that point, Patrick's doing okay.
Yeah. Yes. Is that the name of the kid, Patrick?
Patrick and Alex.
Whoa, that's what it was.
Weird, the things that I remember.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're my best person on set award.
I hated those kids, dude. She's a horrible mother. She's just like, can you stranger, please, while I'm selling weed?
She doesn't want the kids to see her deal drugs, Christian.
Yeah, but like, go upstairs.
Are you a cop? You have to tell me if you're a cop. Oh, that's actually not true. That's a myth. But no, I'm not a cop. I'm an architect.
Okay, that's good news. That's good
What?
news.
That's a myth? That's the asshole I know so much more than everybody else smarminess that Robert Downey Jr. can purvey is so perfect. It's just like
It's good. Like the delivery of the lines. He really brought the lines off of that script to life.
they
of
both
them.
did. They
Both
definitely
of
did.
them.
They definitely did. So they finally he gets his medicine and then they get to the hotel and the cards declined, but that's okay because Ethan has $60 left.
Dude,
To get
this
them
is
from
when it
Alabama
gets
to LA.
worse
Yeah.
and worse. And he says,
We forgot though that at the Waffle House we learn that the coffee container that he has is full of his father's ashes.
yeah.
And it has one of my best interactions and my favorite interactions in the entire film is when he goes, most like Robert Downey Jr. tells, he goes, most people put their ashes in like an urn or something. And he goes, yeah, but this is vacuum sealed.
Well, not anymore. You
Not
opened
if you opened it and dumped out the coffee. He goes, yeah, but I sealed it again.
So dumb, dude.
He's like, what you're saying just doesn't make sense to me. Like,
It's just Zach Galifianakis thinks he's the smartest person.
he's not completely wrong,
No, he's not. He's like very committed to his beliefs.
which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, like later on, like he talks about his dad, and he's like has this monologue with him. He says, "Dad, you're like a father to me." Like,
That's
dude,
one of the best lines.
what are you even saying? Anyway,
Dad would have loved to see the Grand Canyon.
so Ethan spends all of the money on the weed. They only have $60, and so Peter tries to get his wife to wire him $500
$500.
but doesn't have his ID, so they have to wire it to Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan Tremblay, because he's the one in charge and he's got the driver's license. And they go and meet Eastbound and Down.
Danny McBride.
And sure, yeah, money's right here. Ethan Tremblay. Let me see a photo ID and we'll get you going.
It looks like you're not in our system.
Your ID says Ethan Chase.
Oh yeah.
And he
yeah,
goes,
yeah.
I forgot. Ethan Tremblay is my stage name.
Because Ethan Chase doesn't. It's not a good name for an actor.
And Robert Downey Jr.'s whole thing is like, Ethan Chase is a great name
That's
for an
a
actor.
great name. Where did you get Tremblay?
He's like, Tremblay.
Did you make it up?
Yeah, I did.
I
He
did.
goes, Tremblay sounds like a made up name. He goes, I did make it up.
And fucking Danny McBride is like, well, you're gonna have to come back tomorrow because in 5 minutes,
We're
I'm
closing
off.
5 minutes. It's 6:35. You guys close at 6:40?
Yeah, it closes whenever the fuck I say it closes.
What are you, my boss? You decide what time we close? I got reservations at Chili's with my boys.
What? Chili's with my boys.
And Zach goes, that's actually smart. Chili gets pretty busy on a Wednesday night.
He's defending him.
And then, of course, we find out he's a veteran who served. And, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
And then he's also in a wheelchair, but beats the shit out of Robert Downey Jr.
Peter did not know. He was just like, this guy did some half-ass tour in Afghanistan where he probably didn't do shit.
Yeah.
And he's just really trying to do this to get out of us, or to get out of the situation. And he rolls out in the wheelchair. He says, I'm so sorry.
I had no idea. And he's
had-
like, what? You didn't know that I'm handy capable?
And he gets his ass beat.
And Zach Galifianakis, too.
But he barely he didn't really help the situation at all. Every single situation.
Would he have helped that situation though?
No.
So that's where we find them nursing their wounds in the bathroom that the Joker was born in, and
Yes.
that's when that's when we get to see Ethan's acting chops.
I love this scene so much.
It is really good because as an actor, it's funny that he like has his own thoughts. Like when he's like, why don't you do like a coach speech? We're down by 31 points and you have to save the team. He's like, well, that's stupid. That would never be made into a movie. And he's like, that literally gets made into a movie
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years that gets me into a movie.
And then he comes back in giving this like rousing speech. Come on,
What are you, a girl?
what are you?
Come on, you Joey. Get up out there. What
are you, a girl?
What are you, a girl? And so and then Robert Downey Jr. raising the stakes. Okay, like now you're the coach, but now act as if like your wife is calling you to get a divorce.
Hang on, but the first one he does is a Julia Roberts one. He goes, pretend I'm Julia Roberts and you have to break up with me. And he goes, okay, Julia Roberts, as you know, we're dating. I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah. Didn't he have
That's horrible.
He had like terminal cancer too, right? Like or something
Well,
like
maybe
that.
that's what it was. One of them is like terminal. That was.
Yeah, that's
He's like,
what
you
it
got to tell
was,
Julia
right?
Roberts that she has cancer. It's like, hello, Julia Roberts. and then the last one is like, I'm calling you to tell you that we're having a divorce. It's like the coach's wife, and he's like, yes, the coach's wife. So he gets a call mid speech, and he goes, sorry, I have to take.
It's
this.
really good though. He says the way he picks up his phone, looks at it, and tells like his imaginary football team, like, sorry boys, I gotta take this call. And then he leans up against the urinal stall. Wait, no, don't do. It's really good.
He's like, you can't do this to me. My dad just died, and I don't want to be alone.
So good.
Method acting.
That's what it was.
Very Marlon Brando of him.
He's so, which makes sense why he was doing the Godfather speech, but man, like in that moment, and like the music comes in, like it really showed some great range and acting chops by Zach Galifianakis.
And then it's followed up by when they have their bonding moment in the rain. Zach Galifianakis talks about how his dad was a toll booth operator. And he only had the longest line.
Yeah, the longest line because he liked talking to people.
I think the best part about that joke
wait.
is how everybody hates the toll. When I cross a
Long-ass
bridge
toll
all
booth
the
line.
time, living in the Bay Area, cross bridges all the time, and if I see a toll booth line that takes forever, I'm pissed. The words that I heard for the toll booth
Dude, if
operator
that happened.
are not good
Like,
words.
fuck that guy, come
and it's
on.
like, and you know that's what he's going through. But I like to believe that his dad comes home after a hard day of work. He's like, Dad, how was work? He's like, it was great. Everybody wanted to say something to me. That's why the line was out the door. And Ethan Chandler's like, people are great.
Well, and then this is when it gets better because Ethan was asking about his dad. He was just like, I haven't seen my dad since I was like 5, right? Back in like 76.
Peter.
Oh, Peter, I'm sorry. And so Peter was talking about how he woke up, or his dad had asked him to do one thing, and like, hey, can you wake me up at 5:30 in the morning? And my dad never asked me anything. I couldn't go to sleep all night. I set an alarm, and I felt like, wow, he needed me for something. He never notices me. Wakes up 5:30 in the morning, wakes up his dad. His dad smiles. He's never seen his dad smile. It's this great monologue by Robert Downey Jr. So sad, and his dad leaves him and his family.
And then Ethan laughs and goes, my dad would never leave me.
My dad loved me.
You guys know that they actually had scenes of like Peter's dad, but they didn't have. It was supposed to be Alan Arkin.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
And they cut it out?
that would have
Yes,
added
they
a
cut
whole
it out.
other like facet of the cross country thing. I assume he would have met him at one point,
Yeah,
right, in
yeah.
the cross country trip. That would have been interesting. I like
I
Alan
think that would be
Arkin. I
cool.
think that would have been fun.
I wonder if like those cut scenes
Exist.
Yeah, like
They did film it. I mean, Alan Arkin was filmed in this movie, but they cut it out in the final cut. So there's somewhere.
this is why I miss like DVDs with like the bonus content.
There's a
you don't
DVD
really
of this,
get
pal.
that.
I'm sure you can get a DVD of Due Date.
No, I know for sure,
okay.
definitely. I'm just saying in general, this is why I miss DVDs because you don't get that just from a streaming service.
Do we want to talk about them sleeping in the car?
Of course we have to. Of course we have to, dude. They're trying to.
I forgot about that scene until I started
Zach
rewatching it.
Galifianakis. How is Ethan? Dude, Robert Downey Jr. is sleeping. He's like,
What's that noise?
what's that noise?
What noise? He goes, what noise?
It stopped. It's
Okay,
it's
good.
Sorry, I'm just trying to masturbate.
I can't fall asleep unless I do it.
Unless I do it. It usually only takes like as short as 35 minutes.
And then they turn around and see the dog.
Sonny's doing it too. The French Bulldog's doing it too. What a great trick, man. Okay, my question is, Did he clean up after? Because they're switching out from passenger seat to driver's seat because they switch drivers.
I don't know.
I'm sitting in
man.
the back seat for the rest of the car ride. Horrible, right? Wait, no, but you do see Robert Downey Jr. He wakes up outside of the car, meaning he didn't even sleep.
He couldn't. He was so disgusted.
He was so disgusted,
He had to
man.
go sleep outside. Oh shit. So they let they get back on the road.
Yeah.
On the road again, as Willie would say. And well, technically Ethan goes to the bathroom first and is doing his stang, getting his permanent good to go.
Yeah.
Also, when you first told me you wanted to get a perm, this is the movie I immediately imagined. That's why I laughed. But then when your brother got a perm, he looked really good with it.
Yeah, my brother looks good in a
looks
perm.
really good with it.
But I like how
But this is what I imagine. This is what I imagine with the perm.
Juliette Lewis and Todd Phillips talk about like, you got a perm.
Like, oh my God, we totally believed that it was fake. And he's like, no, this is natural.
Dude, he looked so sad.
Yeah, man.
Ethan looked so sad when they're shitting on his perm. But anyway, yeah. So when this is going on, like, it was so heartbreaking. Like, I could never just leave someone like that. The way that Peter was trying to leave.
Well, he came back because they left the coffee in the car.
You know how he wrote a goodbye note on whatever, like a brochure, and left it for Ethan and put it back in his pocket? I thought that was going to come back later. I didn't know that Peter was going to bring it up himself. I thought Zach Galifianakis was going to find the farewell note somehow. It would have fallen out of his pocket, and then that would have led to conflict. But yeah.
No, instead he comes back and he's like, nah, I got breakfast.
Dude, he was about to throw his dad's ashes over the bridge.
into the river, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like but that's where like he was thinking of throwing the ashes
Already,
anyway.
yeah.
Wasn't that what it was? Like,
This would have been a nice place to lay down.
Because the Mississippi River leads to New Orleans, and my dad loved titties and jazz.
and then goes to Peter and he's like,
fuck, I can't do this. Turns around with coffee and donuts, man.
Oh
awesome.
my God.
yeah, man.
He's like, I thought you left me.
No, I went to...
Then why'd you leave my luggage here? It's your luggage. I don't touch it. It's your personal property.
What did he say? Because in the beginning, he knocks over Robert Downey Jr.'s bags. He's like, are you going to pick that up? He's like, you're not supposed to touch other people's luggage, man. Sorry. Can't handle someone else's bags.
What an interesting man.
Great, responses, though, because you can't, what do you say to that?
Like, I guess you're
You're not
right.
supposed to handle my luggage. So they get back in the car and they start driving. And this is when Robert Downey Jr. is starting to soften up, right?
Yeah.
He's finally starting to understand Ethan, but it's not going to last.
Yeah.
Ethan's going to mess it up somehow. And
I was in moments like that in movies, I always get uneasy, it's too happy right now.
too
It's
good.
good to be
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
Like now I'm just waiting for the fuck up to happen.
what would be the worst thing that could happen on a cross-country road trip?
Everything that happens in this movie, man.
Like a car crash.
Yeah, because that fool's falling asleep, and if they fall off the
Horrible.
bridge,
Yeah.
upside down. How is this dog still alive?
How are they alive?
Yes,
Yeah.
But they didn't come out unscathed. Robert Downey Jr. broke his arm.
the
And
dog
3
is in a cone.
ribs.
Oh
and,
yeah,
he had stitches in his armpit or some shit.
yes.
Like, insane, dude.
He's hammered. Yeah, he's broken up. But Ethan's not hurt at all.
No, he's fine. He was just. They said I was so high or so
I was so...
lost in sleep that I was relaxed.
I didn't tense up.
I didn't tense up like you guys did.
You've heard that story, right? Where people get sucked up by tornadoes or something in their sleep, and they just wake up 50 miles away, and they're
Yeah.
like, "How did you live?" And they're like, "Well, he was asleep. He didn't tense up on impact, and his body's like."
Dude, one of my cousin's friends who was into some shady shit in Vallejo, he was in a drunk driving drive-by. So
Whoa.
he and his homies got shot up, but since he was so drunk and his muscles didn't tense up, it just went straight through his body and didn't hit any vital organs. I forget what exactly it was,
shit.
but if he had tensed up, I think he would have died.
Wow. Too bad Tupac didn't know that trick.
Yeah, you just gotta relax, man, when you're getting shot up.
Chill out, man. First thing to do.
When you see there's a gun in your face, just
You remember the Say No to Drugs
Chill the
commercial
fuck
where the
out.
kid melts into the couch?
I hate that.
That's
I
what
hate
you
it
should
how
do.
that-
That's
exactly.
when you see a gun, that's what you do. Just.
There you go. Just be hopped up on drugs when you're gonna get shot.
I think he was. So they leave the hospital. Peter does the dastardly move of spitting in Sonny's face.
That's the worst thing. Why did he spit on the dog? The dog didn't do shit. Dog did not do anything.
When you hate somebody so much, you do the worst thing you could possibly think of.
I would have spat on like Ethan's face, but spit on the dog.
It is a funny comeback around from when Eastbound and Down spits at them.
Oh yeah.
And Robert Downey Jr.'s like, awesome. Yeah, now you have to clean that up. You spit on your own window.
Oh yeah, because they're separated by glass.
Luckily, they find Daryl.
Dude, Jamie Foxx. I forgot Jamie Foxx was in this movie.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
He is actually the villain of this film.
He's shady, man.
He maybe banged his wife.
No, I don't think he banged. He's for sure like in love with his wife. They used to date in like college.
The timing is interesting that she's pregnant, right? And of course, somebody who doesn't live at home and works across the country is going to be nervous about all that shit.
Yeah.
And Jamie Foxx is awesome, and it's like, what do you do? So Jamie Foxx offered them a place to stay for the night.
Yeah.
And
I like when they're so Zach Galifianakis is in the trunk or like in the bed of the truck.
They go through like 2 ditches.
But the dog, man, that dog should be dead. The dog's flying up in the air.
Well, I don't think we should be killing dogs in movies, but that's fine if that's what you want to do.
No. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna write it in, like,
have you ever ridden in the back of a truck like that? It's a fun thing.
nah, man.
No, really?
No, I prefer not to.
One time I was doing that with a couple of friends and a girl that I was dating at the time, and it's really windy and blowy.
Yeah.
And we hit like the wind is blowing.
Yes.
And we hit a bump so hard that we all just boom.
Ouch.
And we all just started laughing so hard because it's like, this is why they tell us not to do this. This is exactly the reason.
So dangerous.
But fun.
Yeah. I mean, do it if you're going to be in a music video. Anyway, let's get back to the movie.
Good caveat.
And so, oh my gosh, when they're all drinking coffee at Jamie Foxx's spot.
Oh.
How did he not open that and look at the coffee grounds and not think?
Yeah. Like, oh, these are ashes. This is not coffee.
He takes a nice big mouthful of ash coffee.
Yeah, apparently, like, he used 3 cups of coffee from his dad's ashes, and there are about 8 cups left.
Yeah.
3 cups of dad.
Yeah, and this is where we find out Daryl. This is like where we find out Daryl's like a little shady because he's talking about like a C-section.
Well, he knows that Robert Downey Jr.'s wife is gonna have a C-section. And they're like, how do you know that? Yeah, he's like,
yeah, Sarah called me.
There's
a picture of them on the coffee table.
They're a little too
from 9 months
close.
ago.
That's why I think he might.
I don't think he did it. I mean,
Sarah was pretty adamant.
And we do see the baby later. Like the baby looks like
yes.
actor baby.
It wasn't Keegan.
it was not. It was not Daryl's.
I like when they're driving away and he's like, I'm sorry that we drank your father.
Yeah.
Robert and Zach Galifianakis goes, well, at least he tasted good.
He was like, he was strong. He was a bold roast, something like that. Good jokes into this.
Solid script. I think like the fact that it didn't get made initially when it first got bought up is the reason why it got made later on, right? Because this is a solid script, and then you give it to 2 good actors, and it's gonna be good to go. 2
good actors and a good director. So
my favorite tentpole of this film.
What?
Is when Ethan starts driving again and he gets a nice clam bake going on in the car.
Oh my gosh.
He's smoking this huge bong as he's driving.
He's just like, we got to roll the windows up because we got to get a clam bake going on so Sonny could get high.
He's like, I like to get a good clam bake going on. And Robert Downey Jr. is now also stoned because he's in the car with the windows rolled up. And it's not like they end up in a bad, shady place like the border of Mexico and America.
Dude, horrible. Well, what I love about what this movie does well is there are multiple changes of heart coming from like Robert Downey Jr. I love when they actually become like buddy with each other because Robert Downey Jr. is super high listening to Ethan's stories from the past, right?
And Pink Floyd, aren't they playing Pink Floyd in the car?
Yeah. I think so. They're tripping out hard.
He can't roll down the window. It's like,
yeah. Oh, right when they're at the Border Patrol.
You roll down your window, sir, and he's like,
why are your eyes glossy? Why I have glaucoma?
Why is the dog's eyes glossy? Does he have glaucoma? and so Ethan turns. Zach Galifianakis turns to Robert Downey Jr. and says, "Don't worry, I got this handled."
And then what happens after that?
Takes off running.
That's what it was.
Yeah, he did. Man.
He dipped out. Oh my gosh! And Robert Downey Jr. He was just like shackled up.
Now he's gonna get arrested. But again, change of heart. Guess who comes back around?
So. He was able to attach that entire trailer to the back of that.
Don't question it.
Whoa. I know, I'm not going to question it. It's just like wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude. Also, it's weird that the Mexican Border Patrol went all the way into America to chase these guys. That would be an act of war. So,
there's.
Yeah, don't really.
So many laws broken. Yeah. So many. And like, when Ethan, when the trailer in the middle of the highway flips over.
Oh, yeah.
And it cuts to this shot of Robert Downey Jr. flying from one end of the trailer to the other end, smacking the wall. I thought he was going to be pissed, but when they like wake up fine, Robert Downey Jr. is like so happy. Well, I mean, like, because they made it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. That
He
was
came back from.
pretty wild stuff.
I do like when we find out that Ethan's favorite show is 2.5 Men.
Ugh. We find that out in the Waffle House.
Well, and then he talks about the website that he runs.
That he ran.
Straight 2.5 Men.
Apparently,
Yes.
that website was actually running back in
For
2010.
sure.
Whoa.
That reminds me of like when How I Met Your Mother would have like websites in the show. Those websites would be active for a while too.
Yeah.
So like that's always a fun thing for companies to do.
Nice.
Costs them nothing, and it makes fans very, very happy.
Dude, so good.
me.
They go to Grand Canyon at this point.
They finally get to the Grand Canyon.
And it's beautiful. And Ethan can't get he thinks he's so smart. He's saying like, "Wait, you're telling me that this is all natural? It's not man-made."
It has to be man-made. Look how big it is.
Look,
And he said like Hoover Dam was built by pilgrims or some shit.
he said pilgrims.
It makes me think that the
built
Pilgrims
the-
built this.
That's incorrect too, Ethan.
Dad, you were like a father to
You're
me.
like a father to me.
I do like that in the beginning we find out, or we hear that Ethan's age is 23. He goes, how old are you? He goes, I'm 23. Because you are the most shot out 23-year-old I've ever seen.
And he was like, "Peter, I have something to get off my chest. I'm not actually 23. I know. It's okay, Ethan. Fool looks old."
He also had Ethan's wallet the whole
That
time.
Dude.
was crazy. Well, I mean, like, they got it off each other's chests, you know. Peter said that, like, "Hey, I was going to leave you there." But then, like, when you find out that he had his wallet the entire time, I mean, would you guys be pissed? I don't know.
Yes,
he
it
was
was
about to
ne-
kill Ethan right there. He was choking him.
It was needless. All of that stuff was for naught.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
He just didn't
All
want to be
because he
lonely on
didn't
the
want to
trip.
be alone.
Yeah, man.
Which is not a good excuse. Get a driving buddy.
But then we wouldn't have this movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what he did, is get a driving buddy. So I take it back. He did the right thing.
Did you guys know from the very beginning, like, that Zach Galifianakis was symbolic to the bear?
the
in the
bear?
I didn't get
The
that.
Bear in the Dream.
Yeah, I didn't see that
Oh.
until.
Like,
Well, except
oh.
for when they were high. That's when I was like, oh.
Oh,
Because like, didn't he turn into like some creature? Or
he
something?
turned into a bear.
Yeah, he turned into a bear. So I was like, oh, so they're trying it. It's gonna come back.
Dude, I already knew it from like the
Wow.
beginning that like that it was gonna be Ethan like
Okay.
delivering the baby. I was just like they put that monologue there in the beginning for a
Right,
reason.
right.
And so Sarah's water breaks. That's what breaks up the fight.
Damn, dude.
And they just hop back in the road and haul ass to go see the birth of the child.
Dude, and Ethan like pulls out the gun from the glove compartment.
Oh my
Well,
god.
they find Daryl's gun. And nothing better than giving Zach Galifianakis a gun.
He just said, "Sorry, I thought it was unloaded." So he did pull the trigger.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that accidental. He was playing around with it.
That's how most gun deaths happen are by accident, actually. It's actually a really sad fact. Because idiots can't put the safety on.
Exactly.
Ethan was saying, "We gotta get you to a real hospital.
And which, like, as
My
opposed
wife's
to,
gonna be at a real
I
hospital."
was like, no. Like a real. I don't understand what that means. What do you mean a real hospital? So they finally get there, though. And he's covered in blood. Peter is just absolutely.
What a crazy sight to see. If you just see a bloody guy and he says, "We have an expecting father." He's like wounded up.
Dude, the elevator scene is so funny, man.
I love.
Really?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. They were like trying to cover up his blood and stuff. He gives him his vest. It doesn't cover shit.
He's still fucked up.
Yeah.
And then he gives him the business card, right? Doesn't he give him his business card that like doesn't fit? It's just like hella big. That and his headshots are two of my favorite things.
The headshots.
The headshots that Ethan Tremblay has of him like as a gangster.
This is
and
me
then-
as a
To me
gangster.
as a construction worker. Like, who's this, a nerd? Professor? No, Malcolm X.
Dude, if someone rolled through with the headshot dressed up as Malcolm X, give that guy the role.
No, because you know he's there auditioning
Commitment.
for Black Panther, though. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we actually can't
We
let you
don't.
continue with
this
the
is
rest.
really offensive.
We'll let you see yourself out.
So funny. And this is when we see Keegan-Michael Key
Yes.
for a split second. Because, you know, he walks into the wrong room and you see a black baby. And then he's just like, "Daryl?"
That is one of the funniest, like, throwaway lines that they have. That is just one of the best things.
Daryl? And then, like, he passes out eventually during the delivery. And that's when,
Losing a lot of bud.
dude, Ethan was the one that cut off the umbilical cord.
And it
And
all
that's how
came
it...
together, man.
I'd cut your umbilical cord if I had to. If it would save your
Mine
life,
or my baby's?
if it would
Like-
save your life, I would cut your umbilical cord.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Please.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a baby tethered to my mother forever. was my mom. What happens? Do you think there are ever...
What?
Have there ever been like
What?
people that have
No.
just grown up with
No.
umbilical cords
No, sir.
for like a
sir.
month?
No, sir. No, sir. You know what?
So you could always find your mom. Imagine, all these kids get lost in malls, but like you ain't gonna get
Malls
lost.
are already invented, and we're still having fully tethered births. I love the brain of an innocent child. So fast forward a little bit into the future. Guess who finally lands his role on 2.5 Men?
Yes,
Ethan Tremblay.
killing it, man. Well, I'm hoping that was an actual episode that aired. That would have been so cool if they actually did that.
That would have been fun. I liked 2.5 Men. I thought it was really funny.
I'm just like happy. Like crossovers are dope. So like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and New Girl did like this crossover because they're both under Fox's network. And the cool thing about it is that the episodes both showed up on each individual series.
That's always fun.
Which was cool. So you got to see Brooklyn Nine-Nine's episode from the perspective of Brooklyn Nine-Nine and how what's the name of Andy Samberg?
Yeah.
Yes.
From his perspective, running into Zoe Deschanel, and then you see it again in New Girl, how Zoe Deschanel ended up in that spot in New York, running into Andy Samberg, and like
I like that kind of crossover better than when they do like the Simpsons Family Guy crossover where they're like, this episode's in Springstown. Now this episode's back in Quahog. And it's
Yeah.
like, you guys are missing out on a bunch of good stuff.
there's so much that
so
you
much
could
stuff
use.
on the table.
So much. So it was cool that they actually got Charlie Sheen and the other guy. What's his name?
Ducky.
Ducky?
I only know him from 16 Candles.
I forget his name.
He's Lex Luthor's son or nephew in Superman 4 Quest for Peace.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then he's also Lex Luthor in the Flash series.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
He's a good actor.
he was one of the 80s guys who made it work, just like Charlie Sheen.
Man, what happened to Charlie Sheen? Okay.
I don't think so.
Damn it, dude. That sucks. Well,
I don't think so.
I mean, it was a nice way, a very sweet ending to the movie to see him
It's a good bow.
on 2.5.
Yeah.
On 2.5
Yeah.
Men. He's actually killing it as an actor. I thought that his acting chops as an actor in this movie was really good. So like every single time that he did some sort of like impression or like a monologue or a scene, really good.
What are you, a girl?
Oh, what are you, girl?
Johnny,
What are you, girl? I don't know, man.
I'm sorry I have to take this.
So good.
That is one of like the best delivery because he has to like quantify it too. I just love the interaction of like the coach's wife is breaking him
Wait,
in them.
do you guys remember?
Yes, just do it. Yes.
When after he shot Robert Downey Jr., he was like he needed him to chill out, and he was just like, "Okay, just imagine that I'm your sergeant and you're my private, and that we're in like the trenches, and I need you to get your shit together. Okay, all right, go." He's like, "Okay." Throws up immediately on his wound. that has to get infected, right?
Yeah.
I think that's actually a great way to clean wounds. I learned that in the Boy Scouts. When you get shot, no.
Nasty. That's so nasty.
Do you have the best person on set award?
It's gonna go to Todd Phillips.
Wow, nice because of his acting chops.
Yeah. Great acting chops. No, I mean, but if you're able to direct some two heavy hitters, like with this script that was blacklisted or on the blacklist, so mine goes to him.
That's a good one. I would like to give mine to the dog, but I don't think animals deserve awards because it shouldn't be a competition. So I'm going to give mine to Robert Downey Jr. Because of the single line delivery of, "Do I look like somebody who does drugs?"
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. He read that, and the writers were just like, "Are you guys fucking with me right now?"
You see how when he says it, he like looks over his shoulder as if like real Robert Downey Jr. can't even get those words out.
I wish he broke the fourth wall, looked at the camera,
And winked.
said like, "Do you think I would ever do drugs?"
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. So funny.
Just kidding. Robert Downey Sr. was a great actor, horrible father.
How about you, Alan?
Robert Downey.
Ooh, that's
100%.
good.
All right, so we win then.
That's
Todd
good.
Phillips is on the chopping block.
But Zach Galifianakis is already really good.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course he's doing really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
The scene, though, you know what it is, though? I get the scene where he's talking about right after the bathroom when they're crying and he's getting like the connection of like who his dad is, how he's a toll booth operator.
Yeah.
Reminds me a lot of the scene in Hangover when they talk about how he's like, "My grandpa died in World War II." And they're like, "Oh, was he serving?" He's like, "No, he was skiing. It just happened during World War II. He died in a skiing accident." And it's like, I always get those two scenes are so similar. It's also Todd Phillips, also Zach Galifianakis, but both done incredibly, like, it's a good joke. They do it well. He does it right.
Yes. Really good. I'm glad we did this movie. It was actually like a
It's a solid movie.
Solid
That
from
I
the
haven't
get.
seen in a long time. That I laughed so hard.
Yeah.
This movie's hilarious. I give it a 4. It's a 4 in my book.
Ooh, yes. I think it's a 4.
Yeah,
4 out of 5.
solid. Four fours, man.
Yeah,
They always
sounds
come up.
good.
It's a
Yeah.
solid 4. Cool. Well, we have a list of movies. Let's tell the baddies that very soon we'll put up some stickers on our Instagram stories so that you guys could give us more movie suggestions.
Yeah, we have
Things-
an ongoing list, but we want more and input from you guys. And
What do you guys want? Yeah. Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you. Dang, that was a good sneeze.
It snuck up on me. No, but we want to hear what you guys. We can cut that out, please. We want to hear from you guys, baddies. We want to know what movies you want to hear us talk about, because otherwise we'll just pick like Superman movies and Dragon Ball Z.
Dude, we could choose everything Zack Snyder. I love Zack Snyder films.
We've pretty much done, except for Watchmen.
Watchmen and 300.
We
That's
were about to do that
But
one.
it's
We
not
got-
on a streaming service.
No,
So
no,
we'll wait
no,
once
no.
it hits a streaming service. That'll be a fun one to talk about.
Mhm.
Yeah. Alan, thanks for taking notes again.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deeply appreciate it.
I shallowly appreciate it. That way we're covered
Yeah.
on both ends.
Baddies, same old shit. You guys know where to find us. Really.
ICBTB.com.
ICBTB.com. Get your merch. We got some new merch coming. We got some exclusive stuff, premium stuff coming out that you guys could subscribe to in the future to help this podcast out. And there's going to be a bunch of fun stuff on there.
Dark roast coffee. We're thinking about adding like an iced tea sort of thing to the menu.
Ooh.
And then we also have Christian's finally cracked the code on beignets. So we'll be making fresh beignets
If I could, I would gain all my weight back. I love beignets
Worth it.
so much.
Worth it.
Worth it.
Worth it.
I would love to have a beignet bod.
My name's Alejandro, and you can follow me at call_me_Jesus.
Follow me at Christian Has Asthma. You guys know, yeah. Watch this on YouTube. Let's get those YouTube numbers up.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie. I thought you were saying, watch Due Date on YouTube.
Don't pay for due date. Don't pay for Netflix subscription. But no, really though, this is coming off of Netflix September 30th. So actually watch this movie.
Do your homework,
ASAP.
baddies.
But yeah. All right. Check us out. Tell your friends. Alan, you want to say bye?
Later.
Later. Bye.
Can't
Y'all.
be that bad, oh, it can't 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 be that bad.
Baddies, thanks for listening to the show. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This episode was brought to you by companies like M3is3D.com. Be sure to check them out. All the links that you need to find them are in the descriptions below. And be sure to check out ICBTB.com to get any of your merch that you want from us, or to check out episodes on any other platforms, streaming platforms, or YouTube. And be sure to hit us up on our socials. Email us and DM us on Instagram, and we'll see you guys later. Take it easy.